Alright guys, and welcome back to another Kuma Style review. I'm TJ Duckett, and what we have right here is the Hasbro Transformers Generations line, their Fall of Cybertron Soundwave. Now they've already released a Soundwave, Fall of Cybertron Soundwave even, in the Generations line, but the difference is, this one's actually a Voyager size. So, a bit out of scale considering pretty much all of their Fall of Cybertron toys so far have been deluxes, including Optimus Prime and Megatron, but it is what it is, and hopefully there are a lot more Voyagers to come. But what we're going to do in this section, as per usual, just take a look at the box. One thing that really stands out here is the slant over here on my left-hand side. Normally, things like that are at the top of the box, but I like it. It's a nice little change-up. You've got the figure itself right here. Really nice artwork of Soundwave and Laserbeak. Up top, Fall of Cybertron logo. Just Transformers Generations on top. On the bottom, UPC as well as some of his disc. Frenzy and Ratbat come together, and it looks like Rumble and Ravage. Okay, and on this side, just finishes off the artwork for Soundwave, and it also has some artwork of his minions. Ravage, Rumble, Frenzy, Ratbat, that kind of thing. On the back here, just a picture of him in robot mode, his vehicle mode, and showing off his gimmick of how the disc actually release. So, very cool. Now let's take a look at the toy itself. And alright, here we have it out of the box, and I just want to get a quick size comparison. This is him compared to the Classics Voyager Optimus mold. This one's actually got some third-party upgrades on it. But just to get a size comparison, you can see this Voyager is huge. Like, it's literally humongous even for that size scale. Let's get a ruler and get an exact measurement. Okay, and head to toe, it's legitimately over 7 inches. It's about 7 1/4 from my view. Wow. Well, no, I just had to look at it more straight on, and it's about 7 inches to the dot. So, very big. Very, very big. Alright, looking at this thing from all angles, give you more of a front view here. It's nice, it's pretty streamlined. It's got the broad shoulders, kind of awkward in how the shoulders set. Kind of away from the body, but it was like that in the game too, so can't say too much about that. Alright, looking at the back. This does close, this back piece that sits out here a bit, and I'll show you why it's protruded in a moment. But there's the back. Actually, make him stand straight up here. Okay, the other side, and once again to the front. Okay, so this shoulder cannon is removable. Alright. And just looking at its posability, no ball joints, but head can move side to side, but since there's no ball joint, it's got some no up and down movement. Shoulders, in and out for sure, and there is rotation, so no ball joint, but it still has a full range of motion there. Bicep swivel, definitely. Nice ratcheting elbows. I dig that. I dig that a lot. And look how far they go up. No double joints, but still a great range of motion there. Alright. No waist swivel. Alright. Full range of motion in the thighs there. Definitely has thigh swivel. Again, with the ratchets on the knee joints. Alright, and the feet are pretty big. It's got a good amount of ankle and foot, so it's definitely supported, but unfortunately there's no ankle tilt, so at certain angles your feet will kind of sit off of the ground or at an awkward angle, which is unfortunate. It's always nice to see ankle tilt in characters because it just plain looks better when you're standing them up, but for what it is, it's pretty nice. Now, I showed you that the back was protruding there, and that's because of his gimmick with his minions. The G1 Soundwave, of course, had cassette tape minions, you know, Rumble and Frenzy, Ravage, Laserbeak, you know, etc., etc. This one comes with Laserbeak, and instead of cassettes, they've actually made them into disc. And that was a button I pressed that just releases this latch you see right here. Okay? Alright, now, looking at it, a problem with mine, and I've actually talked to other owners of this toy, is that when it's inside these discs, they're fine, and you can push it back and forth however well you want. However, this initial front area here protrudes out a little bit too much, and it makes it hard for the toy to fit completely in the first place, and also to push out, because what you're supposed to do is be able to take this and push the cassette out. So let's go ahead and give it a go. Alright, that just popped out, and what happened here was it partially transformed, but like you saw there, it's supposed to transform all the way. If you could get a good accurate push, you know, without that blockage in the front, it would do that. But now you can see it turned from disc to Laserbeak. So not really going to be my definitive Laserbeak. The Cybertron or Galaxy Force Laserbeak that came with Soundwave, that will always be my classics Laserbeak, no matter what. As well as the buzzsaw that came with the Sound Blaster variant of them. But yeah, I mean it's good. It's a nice transformation for what it's worth. And to get him back into disc mode, you just flip this whole part down. His head flips down with it. And you can see it starts to tilt up there. And then there's a flap here that goes over his tail. Put that over. And these two just, boom. And you've got a disc back. If you want to transform it again, after it hits the ground, just toss it. Do whatever you want. So, okay. Now that we've went over Soundwave and how his minions will work, because the other minions will work the exact same way. He has Rumble and Frenzy, he has Ravage, I believe there's a Buzzsaw as well, and they all work the same. They turn into disc, and he can fit up to 5 or 6 in there. This actually goes back quite a bit. So you don't want to display him with that many in there because each one pushes it back more and more. But, you know, it's cool that he's able to do it if you want to have a play scene where you're pushing out multiples and things like that. But anyways, let's take a look at the transformation and his vehicle mode. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this guy into his vehicle mode. The first thing I'm going to do is take Laserbeak and transform him, just like I did in the last section. Flip those arms up, fold it over. Alright, take this and push him in. Alright, so that part's that, and what we need to do first is take these fists and push them inward like so. Fist, push them inward like so. Put these back down. Now I'll actually take his weapon off too here. Oops. Drop that on the floor. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take this whole back part, put it up, taking his arms, put them down up that way like so. Okay. Actually, these are supposed to be facing like so. More upwards there. Alright. So now I can take this, put that more upwards like so. Now with these flaps on his arms here, take those and then just bring his arms over like this. Okay. Actually get those put up as well. And this is supposed to just plain fit in, but I don't have enough friction on mine to hold this up. So I'm gonna try that one more again. Okay, so coming back, here's what I did wrong. There are pegs over on each side that these pegs in the arms right here have to peg into first. So when you bring that over, just make sure it's pegged into the arm like that. Also, on this side here. Alright, and there we go. Much better. Much, much better. Okay. And see, boom, we've already got a much more cohesive looking piece there. Okay. So actually I'll go ahead and bring him back up. The next step is to pull these wheels in forward. Alright. And from there, that awesome bicep swivel I was talking about, that's why. Because it folds in like that. Folds in like that. Okay. Now this piece, pull it back, and there's actually a latch down here. You have to pull it out some. So from there you can pull it down. Okay. And then this whole thing, we bring that up, and from there we can fold this over. Okay. And we're supposed to fold it in. So there's that part. And now we got to do the legs here. We start by bringing these pieces up like so. Rotating this leg panel around up like so. Okay. Then from there, you can actually bring the legs up. Oops. There we go. You gotta bring this whole piece up. Okay. And then that just folds in. There's a peg that it clips into on each side. Boom. Boom. Okay, and from here, we're supposed to be able to take his legs and... Oh, okay. It just wasn't pushed in enough. But then, boom. And now, I can take this and go back. Alright. And once you actually go back, you can take this front piece and move it back forward. Or up then forward, you know. Okay. So there's that. We have Shockwave's vehicle mode. Alright, now taking a look at his vehicle mode, just from all sides here. Actually zoom in on it a bit. You guys can actually see what's going on. And even though it's Cybertronian, it's pretty cohesive, not gonna lie. I actually like it a lot. Over on all four wheels, looks good from all angles. And it does have the weapon storage as well, which I'm more than fine with. Now, a nice little gimmick about this is the fact that you can push that down, and once you do, actually you're supposed to push that in more, you're supposed to be able to take the chest and see, it's that forcefulness, but yeah, that's supposed to be able to, you know, yeah, squawk, laser beak. But, like I said, that area in the front there that just doesn't want to play nice really puts a hamper in the toy's gimmick as a whole. You know, I mean, if you're going to build a toy around that gimmick, upsize it, you know, at least do some QC testing and make sure that it works. But it is what it is, and there's his vehicle mode. Alright, and final thoughts on this guy. Definitely a good, solid figure at a great size. And the cool thing about the Voyager price point is that it's remained relatively the same. I mean, I paid $22.99 for it plus tax. And that's not bad for figures that are keeping their size, whereas the deluxes are, you know, they keep increasing in price, but they keep downscaling in size, and it sucks. But the Voyager line seems to remain untouched in that aspect. It doesn't have any hollow areas or anything like that. It's a nice, hefty figure. The gimmick's pretty cool. I just wish it worked. However, the fact that that gimmick doesn't work, even though it sucks, it's something that can be easily overlooked because I know a lot of collectors like myself don't really play around with their toys as much. I think for a child, they may find disinterest in it because of the fact that, you know, it is, you know, something that's kind of cool. I could see a kid enjoying the hell out of being able to shoot the disc and they transform when they hit the ground, but it doesn't work. So that's something that might detract a child or something like that. But I think more adult collectors and things, or a lot of the audience that I think these videos are going towards, would like this figure a lot. I would recommend it. I wouldn't say highly because of the fact that it is a Voyager scale and it's much, much larger than any of the Fall of Cybertron or War for Cybertron figures, for that matter, that have come out at all. I mean, he towers over War for Cybertron, Megatron like crazy. Give me one moment and I'll actually show you. Alright. While I drop stuff in the back. But if you want to see, this is even with Megatron in front of Starscream. But we'll put them side by side. And yeah, see what I mean? Just absolutely no sense of scaling at all between these two figures. However, if you want to buy him just as a Soundwave collector or somebody who wants a very nice Soundwave on your shelf, this is one I'd highly, highly recommend. Anyways, this has been another Kuma Style review. I'm your host, TJ Duckett. See you guys next review. Thanks for watching.